Resident Evil as a franchise means so much to me. I've stated this countless times in the past, both on my channel and on Critics Play Games. Through the good, the bad, the brightest, the darkest, the Resident Evil games were there for me to escape and find solitude in a universe where I can feel like a badass government agent, a testosterone-fueled man who likes to punch boulders, a rookie cop having a bad day at the new job, or even a piece of tofu wanting to not be eaten by hungry zombies and monsters alike. I thank Capcom and everyone involved in this universe in some way or another. As of the past month, however, we received the latest entry in the franchise to date, being Resident Evil 4 Remake. This is a remake of not only my favorite Resident Evil title, but also my favorite game of all time. I went in skeptical, nervous, but very optimistic. To say I cried tears of joy when that announcement was released last year would be an understatement, and I'm so happy to say that RE4 Remake is the best game in the series since its predecessor in 2005. At first, I was hard on the game, judging it quite harshly and picking apart any little thing I could find a fault with. But since going for my platinum and having played through it countless times now, I have progressively fallen more in love with it. Say goodbye to most QuickTime events, say farewell to the Looney Tunes Castle of Horrors, say adios to whatever the fuck this was. I love the original, but it still has a lot of what the fuck moments. I'll admit I'm still sad the U3 is gone. I'm a little iffy on Ashley's change mechanics. Yes, I prefer the original escort system, please don't hurt me. And I also am not a fan of unnecessary sidetracking like grabbing a jerry can before fighting El Del Lago. This just feels like extra padding to me. But for majority of Resident Evil 4 Remake, I adore this game. However, the better question is, how do I feel about the platinum and the completion experience? I'm not unfamiliar to platinum hunting in Resident Evil games. I know how taxing it can be. I platinumed both Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 twice for both the PS4 and PS5 versions, and I've even platinumed the PS4 version of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and might even pick it up again to platinum the PS5 version very soon. I achieved my platinum in the Resident Evil remake last year, and although I haven't platinumed them, I have begun to work on platinums for Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 5, and Resident Evil 6 in the past. I knew this would be taxing, but my fucking god did I go about this the completely wrong way. The Resident Evil 4 Platinum is the perfect blend of fun, challenging tasks, and pure rage-inducing frustration. It's a pretty straightforward process due to the game's linear story and chapter progression, but what matters most is how you stack the trophies on each subsequent playthrough. The minimum amount of playthroughs is about 4 runs, but the ideal way to do it is in 6. I did it in 8 fucking playthroughs. Now why is this? Well, nothing ever went my way no matter how and when I went about stacking certain trophies. Handgun and knife only without the merchant or healing on professional? Nope. Let's try that again now, except on assisted. Nope. How about handgun and knife only while going for all treasures and trying to beat the game in under 8 hours? Not a fucking chance. Nothing ever worked out for me because I was a fool who would forget to parry enemy attacks, would rush into enemy fire, and was always more focused on beating the game as fast as possible rather than taking my time and assuring these tasks could be achieved efficiently. With this, it took me 8 full playthroughs to achieve my platinum, and it would have been 9 if it weren't for the Mercenaries DLC having been released a couple days ago. But I'll touch on that a little later. But now it's time to go back to where my journey began and show you the worst way to platinum Resident Evil 4 Remake. Starting off like any other game, I did a full normal playthrough. Some trophies were on my mind, but for the most part, I just wanted to experience the game as naturally and authentically as possible. I wanted to enjoy the story and have fun with the remake of my favorite game ever. Through this playthrough, however, I did achieve quite the handful of trophies. A lot of them came down to story and enemy specific scenarios like defeating Torres Mendez, Ramon Salazar, Jack Krauser, and Osmond Saddler. You'll also naturally earn the trophy for parrying an enemy for the first time, which I achieved in the opening village, but you'll receive this fighting Krauser later on anyway. I also got my first upgrade and managed to kill 3 enemies at once with a flashbang. I personally recommend doing this trophy either when you first pass El Gigante's slumber with the horde of crows, or on any large group of Las Plaga reanimated enemies as well. With all this, I also managed to kill a Zealot with a cannon, which was really easy. I just did this at the catapult section when entering the castle. I got my first exclusive upgrade, which will be done naturally as you go along. But out of all of these in my first run, the most surprising trophy I earned was killing 2 parasites inside a regenerator with 1 bullet, which was way easier to achieve than initially anticipated.
This thing is controlled control my guts.
And by the end of my first run, I had achieved 16 out of 40 trophies. Almost halfway there on my first run. Not a bad start at all. Following this, I decided I would go and reload all checkpoints from chapter 11 and chapter 16 respectively, where I did Leon and Luis's minecart section without taking any damage to achieve the Hope You Like Thrill Rides trophy. And then I did the same thing with the jet ski section at the end of chapter 16 to achieve the Smooth Escape trophy. This was easy. Together these two trophies maybe took about 10 to 15 minutes in total. It's just a bit of a trial and error, repeat over and over again sort of process, but it's nothing too strenuous, it's nothing too difficult. I did my first playthrough on standard difficulty, so it really wasn't too hard even in the minecart section. Next up, with my second official run, I decided to do a new game as opposed to a new game plus, and this time I attempted to get all treasures in the village, castle, and island, and I also attempted to do this pistol and knife only. For the most part, this run went extremely well. I throughout defeated a Garador with only a knife, killed the Verdugo with a well-timed RPG, and even shot Salazar up by throwing a grenade in his fat, ugly gob. In these sections, by the way, where I would use something other than a handgun and knife, I just later reloaded checkpoints to set the counter back to 0. In this run, I also completed all the merchant requests, earning me the Jack of all trades trophy, and got both shooting range trophies for shooting through 5 targets with a single shot and achieving S ranks in all the shooting range challenges. By the end of my run, I also unlocked the Primal Knife for destroying all Clockwork Castellans and ended my second run with 29 out of 40 trophies. Things at this point were flying by super fast and were going very smooth. But by the island on my second run though, I did drop the handgun and knife only trophy as I didn't have enough ammo and I was also attempting my speed run simultaneously. To be honest, I just got impatient with the regenerators and trying to hit their stupid parasites without a thermal scope. To be honest, I just have really shit aim. My next run was fast and easy. After 2 runs, I already knew the game pretty well, where I sped through the game on New Game Plus for a second time, purchasing the Unlimited RPG and making it through the game in under 5 hours, where I got the Sprinter trophy for completing the story in under 8 hours. Oh, I also got the Capacity Compliance trophy by reaching the top of the clock tower without the elevator stopping once. This was way too easy with the Unlimited RPG. For my 4th official run, I played on New Game Plus for the 3rd time in a row now, where I exploited the Unlimited RPG and Primal Knife to speed through the game on Professional mode. This was easy for the most part. The RPG made speeding through a breeze aside from the island and the water room. The water room on Assisted, Standard, and Hardcore is pretty easy in my opinion, but on Professional, hell, I even struggled with the RPG. Granted though, my biggest problem in this run was constantly shooting a rocket at enemies far too close to me and wound up blowing myself up half the time, but I managed to make my way through Professional in just a little over 4 hours in the end, where I earned not just the Peerless Agent trophy, but also the Proficient Agent trophy for beating the game on Hardcore or higher, as I hadn't done a Hardcore run as of yet. I should also mention that in the village, I did start out trying to use handgun and knife only for this run again, but I soon gave up on this as I didn't want to throw my controller. I also managed to unlock the Chicago Sweeper in this run as well, as I earned an S rank on my Professional playthrough, and you earn the Chicago Sweeper by being Professional with an A rank or above. Now after this, my plan was to initially play through the game for a 5th time on Professional once again, where I would do it on a fresh save file. No New Game Plus, and without bonus weapons. The ultimate challenge to earn the hand cannon. This, at one point, was the only way to earn the final bonus weapon, but Mercenaries was released as a free DLC, where I found out on Twitter that you could earn the hand cannon by getting an S rank in every stage of Mercenaries. So, to make my life easier, this is exactly what I did. I played through Mercenaries and achieved S ranks on all 3 stages, where I was then rewarded with the hand cannon. This, by the way, only took me 30 minutes and soon rewarded me with the Gun Fanatic trophy for acquiring all weapons in the game. This is probably the best thing I did with my entire Platinum journey, as it saved me so much time, stress, and prevented me from doing an extra playthrough and wasting more time. At this point, I held 34 out of 40 trophies, but this is when my journey gets really really fucking messy. I planned for my 5th playthrough to consist of combining all 3 trophies for completing the story without using a healing item. I wasn't going to speak to the merchant, and I also wanted to add on top of that the handgun and knife only playthrough as well. At first, I thought this run would be fairly simple as I was on New Game Plus once again on assisted difficulty, but things started to go horribly wrong the moment I saw my health in the red before I even fought Salazar. With this, I completely scrapped the no heal idea and finished my 5th playthrough having only used handgun and knife as well as ignoring the merchant and his illegal dealings. For my 6th run, I simply just restarted another New Game Plus and used all the bonus weapons at my disposal to speed through and beat the game without healing. I should mention as well, most of these New Game Plus runs were done on assisted to make my life way easier, as at this point, I was already over what should be the maximum playthrough requirement. After my 6th playthrough, I had 37 out of 40 trophies, with only 2 remaining before earning my platinum. Everything up until this point was a fucking mess. Nothing was going my way, and I had exceeded what should have been my maximum number of runs required to earn the platinum. But I still had 2 more runs to go. This is when I completely gave up on credibility and became so impatient to earn the platinum that I did something I don't recommend to anyone if you're going for the platinum trophy in this game or any game in general. I noticed with the Mercenaries DLC that they added purchasable golden exclusive upgrade tickets for weapons. If you purchase these, it allows you to get an exclusive upgrade for a weapon of your choice for free, and those tickets are renewed again with each playthrough, meaning you have them forever. I ended up buying the 5 ticket deal so I could get unlimited ammo for the Chicago Sweeper and hand cannon, as well as upgrade my primal knife durability to unlimited as well. I would then sell the 2 extra tickets for 80,000 pesetas each for either damage output upgrades on each weapon of my choice or for the RPGs to make boss battles easier on the next 2 runs. I do not, I repeat, do not recommend anyone do this like I did. I wasted my own money, it was 15 bucks I'm never gonna get back, it's not worth it, and I hate myself for it. Fuck it. Either way, I only had 2 playthroughs left where I had to separately earn S+ ranks on standard and hardcore difficulty. I started off my 7th run with my standard S+ playthrough. It was easy, thanks to those tickets and the bonus weapons themselves. The only section that is remotely tough is the opening village section and chapter 1 as a whole due to not meeting the merchant until chapter 2. But I just sort of ran past most enemies and managed to earn my S+ on standard in just over 3 hours. For my 8th and final run, I sped through the game one more time on hardcore using the exact same system and strategies as my standard S+ run, with a few things fine-tuned to compensate for more crowded locations, which bosses to buy an RPG for, which were Salazar and Sadler, as well as puzzle changes, especially in Ashley's section, which all you need to do is solve the first clock puzzle and continue on. There were a few frustrating sections which even the bonus weapons couldn't save me from, but in the end, I managed to get my S+ on hardcore with a clear time of just under 4 hours, where I was finally rewarded with my platinum trophy. Come on. Platinum time. Platinum time. Come on. Come on. Come on. S+.
You really
yes?
are the best.
Yes? Come on! Give it me! Yes! Fucking finally! The sense of relief and achievement I felt cannot be overshadowed. Hogwarts Legacy may have been long, tedious, and exhausting. I may now already have over 68 platinums under my belt, but Resident Evil 4's platinum was just frustrating, and I made it way harder than it needed to be. It's a damn good platinum with the perfect blend of challenge and fun, as I said earlier, but I made things way harder for myself than it needed to be, and in the end, it just became miserable to do. I have no one to blame but myself for how long and how many playthroughs it took me, which is why I don't advise you to follow my lead on this one, especially when I paid money to make it easier for myself as well. I'm still punching myself over that. Resident Evil 4 Remake's platinum is a challenge, a struggle, a pain in the fucking ass, but it's also a blast and perfectly balanced. It for the most part was fun and enjoyable to experience with different playstyles upon each playthrough. Now that I know easier methods and paths to go about for the platinum, it is one I'd love to revisit someday on the PS4 version of the game. Sure, it won't be anytime soon, but it's one I'm sure to revisit and remember as still one of my favorite platinums to date. So guys, have you earned your Resident Evil 4 Remake Platinum Trophy yet? I know that this one might be a bit of a challenge for a lot of people, but it's nowhere near as hard as people made it out to be, at least in my opinion. I found it to be an enjoyable platinum with the right level of challenge and fun, as I have said previously in the video. For me, as a massive Resident Evil fan, a long-time fan of this franchise, I am not disappointed with the platinum whatsoever. I actually think the difficulty level was just perfect for what Resident Evil should provide. It reminded me of the platinum process for Resident Evil Remake on the PS4 for the Origins collection. But guys, have you got the Resident Evil 4 Remake Platinum? I want to see what all of you have to say down in the comment section below. We here at Critics Play Games want to see what you guys have to say, and also, what is your favorite platinum? I want to know what you guys have to say. Look out for more platinum videos coming from myself, as well as more reviews from everyone here at Critics Play Games. My platinum video for The Evil Within 2 is already in the works, it's already written. It'll probably personally be my next video after this one, which I'm going to get in and work on it basically as soon as this one is done to have that one for you guys. I earned that platinum a month ago, so it's long overdue. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Look out for more videos coming to Critics Play Games very, very soon. We can't wait to provide more content for everyone to enjoy. My name is Patrick Burrow, and this has been Critics Play Games.